Main Street, August 11th, 2026 at 6 PM. Meeting is being held in the upstairs Selectmen's Conference Room. Item number 1, call to order, roll call. Tina Falk, First Selectman. Wayne Malin, Selectman. Matt Danieluk, Selectman. Item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item number 3, approval of minutes. We have July 28th, 2026 regular meeting minutes, and we also have August 4th, 2026 special meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve meeting minutes, regular meeting minutes for July 28th, 2026, and special meeting minutes for August 4th, 2026.
I think I have to abstain from. Wasn't I
It
away
was the
for?
4th.
No, I missed the regular meeting. I thought. Did I miss the?
Yeah, you
I think
missed
I
the regular
both,
meeting.
right?
Yeah.
I was on both, so I have to.
Yeah, okay.
That's you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion. I will second that. Matt abstained. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 5, old business. A, discussion and possible action on appointment to the Griswold WPCA. Okay, you've had a chance. We have
Did
application.
you skip some? Or you just want to say review the correspondence? So we got the correspondence.
You went over the correspondence.
Yeah, so we went over the correspondence.
Okay,
Yeah,
you good?
yep.
Okay, I don't want you confused, because sometimes I am. Okay, so 5A, discussion and possible action on appointment to the Griswold WPCA. We have letters of application from Dana Bennett, Richard Grabowski. We have those two. Any discussion? I mean, I don't know what the others feel. I tend to want to lean toward a candidate who has long, extensive business in the town, association with the town, knowledge of the town. For myself, I would, my selection would be Richard Grabowski. I mean, they're both very good candidates, but Rich has a long-standing affiliation with the town. And that's what I'm basing my choice on.
We have 3, correct? 3 candidates.
I only have 2 in
I
here.
got 2.
Oh, did I read that wrong?
So I know in the past, we've considered the person who puts the letter in first, which right now.
You're right. I'm sorry that we do.
It's Dana. I understand where you're coming from. I also, Dana's former first select person, she was involved in a lot of this, so I think she's got knowledge of it. We talked about, as a matter of fact, we were gonna write an ordinance to send the letters to the actual board itself for them to interview the individuals, and then they make the recommendation they like to see on the board. I mean, be consistent.
It's not that neither are qualified. I just look on who has the most experience and years with the town. And I know the former administration had said that the first application that comes in should be the one that's considered, but that's not always the case where the first letter that comes in is the most qualified. You really, I don't think it's appropriate to base it on that.
Well, if I remember correctly, the last 2 individuals that were put on that board, one never showed up to a meeting and one showed up for one. So you know, we've got to make sure that's not going to happen again. People are going to.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think we're safe from that in either case in this situation. I think we have
With
evidence,
either, yes.
evidence that either one of these candidates would
Yeah.
definitely be showing up to the meetings.
Yeah,
I've been banging the drum of that's a ridiculous policy, and I'm never ever making a decision based on who got their letter in first since the very first meeting that we had here. And I still maintain that we need a better process for this when there are vacancies on boards. It's just not ever, at some point it'll move its way up the priority list. It's just, it can't be a high priority right now. We have a million other battles to fight. So for me, I think to me, I look at it as Rich's involvement with building actual buildings in the town. Like, he's a part of that right now as a member of the housing authority. I think has unique insight into that process, and given what we know about what this commission is dealing with right now, I think that could be really valuable. Also, he's been in all of these roles too, the same way that Dana has been first selectman, and can bring that executive knowledge and negotiating and things like that to the table to kind of know the ins and outs of every side of it. And I mean, if anything, there's almost nobody other than maybe Todd who's served in Stewart that have served longer in different roles in the town than Rich. So to me, I lean Rich for that reason. But I don't think either candidate is a bad choice for this.
no, neither is. The other thing that kind of weighed heavily with me also is that I think, Rich, you sat on the board when we got the 164 project rolling, and now we are negotiating on the, the WPCA and the Jute City DPU. We're in talks with them on how to proceed going into the future. You have some experience with the USDA process, the sewer meetings and that, so that's kind of where I based my choice.
Will you take comments from either one of us?
I kind of feel like that's what the letter of interest is for. But to me, this is why to me, I think the process should be that when we get a vacancy like this, we have to advertise it better. And I would want input from the board members if we made that a standard practice across the board, but I'm not going to say we should do that as a one-off, from existing boards. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
We have not been consistent either way.
I know.
In the past, so, well, we can vote. I know what you guys want, and again, I will tell you this. I will spend some time writing up an ordinance going forward so that we can get rid of this back and forth stuff.
I agree. I think that would be.
Because we've been talking about sending the applicants to the boards themselves.
Yeah.
Interviewing those people and recommending who we should, then
Well, if you want to take that on, I would be thankful for it, and I would appreciate it, and I think it's a very good idea.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much on the same page how that process needs to change. So I think that's awesome, Wayne. And I think having, not that we can't still ultimately be the people that decide the best person for the job, but to have that actual board weigh in and say, hey, we think this would be a fit, here are the reasons why.
And they can ask all the right questions.
I think that's valuable information, and I do think that's a positive change for the future as well.
Agree.
As far as this action, I would make a motion, Dana did ask whether or not you wanted them to say anything, so I guess I'll leave that if you guys have thoughts on. I kind of feel like that was the idea of the letter, but I'm not necessarily.
Well, if we're going to allow Dan to speak, then Rich is allowed to speak afterwards, or if he wants to speak at all. So.
I'm good with that.
Okay. I'm good with Dana adding something if she wants to.
Go ahead, Dana.
Well, I'd like to point out that I spent an extensive amount of time on this project, that I met with Ken Sullivan, who ran JCDPU. I met with him multiple times on my own. I have extensive notes handwritten notes on my meetings with him. I met with Mike LaLima many times. Mike LaLima came up here. I have had extensive meetings on this project. There are a lot of things I know about the project. So my experience is very specific to the project and to JCDPU and to the Water Pollution Control Authority. So I understand that Rich, and I'm not denying that Rich has extensive experience. I just want to let you know that I have a lot of specific experience to this project.
And that's true. And I know that you had extensive dealings with them, but when you left office, all of those players changed. And a lot changed with the project, and that's when the other administration came in. So, I mean,
I understand that, but I
Yeah.
followed the project. I know, and I think one of the things that we miss sometimes is we don't always follow the history on what we're doing, and we lose ground. And then people go back and they find out after the fact, oh, is this what happened? So, I've got the
understand.
history of that.
I understand.
So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Okay, unless you guys have any other thoughts, then I will make a motion to appoint Richard Grabowski to the vacancy on GWPCA.
All right, I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, Wayne opposes, okay. Thank you both,
We'll fix this going forward.
thank you both.
Yeah,
No, and if
Agreed.
you could do that, Wayne, I think that would be a good path to follow. Yep, discussion and possible action on feral cat situation. I'm going to ask to table that. There is a woman in Norwich who's she's working extensively with the city of Norwich on their feral cat situation, and she was supposed to come in and meet with me, I think it was Friday, Lisa, I believe, and she had to cancel because one of her cats had a stroke. So she couldn't come in, but she's got some very good ideas on funding and things that are going on in the state to kind of help us, guide us with the situation with the feral cat population in the town. So until I meet with her, I'd like to table this item. Okay,
Make a motion to table 5B until our
I'll
next
second
regular
it.
meeting.
I have a motion and a second to table 5B. All in favor? Aye. 5C, discussion and possible action on inserting a minimum age in the peddlers, vendors, and hawkers ordinance. And
Yeah, so I
Wayne, you did this.
did draw up a draft. I want you guys to take a look at it, read it, provide some feedback. We're gonna talk about this next time, and then probably gonna have to forward this to the lawyer to have him review it, make sure it follows the format.
Do you want me to do that before we,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I
Yeah,
just
for
wanted you
sure.
guys to have an opportunity, maybe, you know, like the way it's written or something, you can send me some feedback.
Yeah, I did go back and look at the discussion on this at the previous meeting, and I think we're on the same page on this, so.
yeah, and I think it's necessary because I think, Lisa, you had a phone call
Yes,
from, I think it was what, age 16?
yes.
And I don't think that that's something that we want to do or encourage
It's
or
all-
allow.
So,
Allow.
I'll read what I did write for the
Yeah,
people in here. So I did add the tie to the state statutes. It's chapter 408, sections 21 through 37, so I added that. And then the change is, such person shall be 18 years of age, or if under this age, accompanied by the parent or legal guardian, who is also the licensee and at the minimum age of 18 years of age. So that way, the person who still has to be over 18 or over, to apply for the license for the individual that's less than 18 years of age. And they also have to accompany that individual if they go around door knocking and stuff like that.
And this would apply even to like Girl Scout cookies, right? Like, you're gonna have to be accompanied by an adult if you're under the age of 18. Okay.
They do that anyway.
Yeah, I think generally that's true. And obviously, we know from knocking on doors, I don't know that I would want a bunch of teenagers wandering around knocking on doors, because you just never know what experience you're gonna have with somebody.
I've never had a Girl Scout be issued a vendor's permit, ever.
Really? That's funny.
No, I don't think they go door to door.
No, they don't do that anymore?
they used to, it was, I think before
Long, long
COVID
time
they
ago.
did.
Boy Scouts used to too with
Yeah.
Tom Watt years ago, they used to sell wrapping paper and
Right.
stuff.
Oh, I've
remember
never,
that.
I've never
I think
experienced that.
organizations don't want the kids
I
going
think
door
when
to
things
door.
changed,
All right,
people
well.
kinda got away from that.
Yeah.
Online now.
How
In
they-
any case,
Yeah,
Now they
now
sit
they
in front
go
of
in
Stop and Shop and
storefronts and sidewalks and, yeah,
this makes sense to me, Wayne, but yeah, I think
No,
if
it's
the
good,
attorney
thank you.
reviews it, we should be able to
I
approve
like
it pretty
it.
easily.
I like it.
Add it to our list of things, we have to have a
A town
hearing
meeting,
on,
yeah, yeah.
Once that's approved, we have the alternates for the EDC and
Yeah.
we have that, yes.
Yeah, So I think we can go ahead and proceed with that.
Well, if I'm gonna write this other ordinance, we wanna wait for that one.
Wait for that one too.
Make it a 3.
Ordinance me.
Oh yeah, I may have another one later in any other business, hold on.
You're gonna force me into one to ask for the ordinance committee back here pretty soon.
Okay, 5D, discussion and possible action on discontinuance of skate park.
Hey, we're like a month overdue on this conversation, I feel
Yeah,
like.
no, we knew that with the new playground coming in, that the skate park was, I think the decision was made that the skate park would be discontinued and Public Works would start removing it. Probably on a smaller scale, but we had an incident a week ago. The borough warden contacted me to say, oh, state police said that there's more graffiti painted. And the ironic thing was that from the last time that Todd had to go spray paint, paint over the pretty gross stuff, the state police thought that it would be helpful to make the kid go back to the skate park and do the paint over what they had created. So they did. Todd went up last week to look at what was new up there. And go ahead, Todd, take it away.
So they used red spray paint this time and painted over everything that they covered up the last time, plus probably 50% more.
Awesome.
Same individual. And it's becoming very problematic. And somebody said, oh, are they doing it at night? No, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the cameras.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wearing a mask, so it can't be identified, but the kid wears a mask all around town, so you know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my question to put it on the agenda was, when the fall, we were gonna look at ripping a phase of it out for the playground. My thought is we rip the whole thing out when we do it. Get it prepped for the playground for spring and the toddler playground and the seating area. And then we're ready to go.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's not doing anybody any favors to leave any portion of it up. And to be honest with you, if you demo half of it and leave the rest of it there, it's probably gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Not, you know what I mean? Like,
My only concern, and I stressed this already, I think to Wayne, about the playground that's gonna go there for $250,000+. And possibly graffiti on that.
We talked about it at the borough meeting too.
That's my concern.
Yeah.
We're putting something new in.
So we gotta talk about security cameras, better security
I
cameras.
think we need to upgrade those
Yep.
to a better quality.
that's in the borough though, yes, they maintain that security system, the camera
Those
system?
cameras, I think Ryan put those cameras up when the skate park went in.
So the rec
and-
department and the town manage those?
And then the borough wanted to put a camera there and use the internet, and for some reason Ryan couldn't let them use the internet, so they didn't put a camera there, they put it on the firehouse.
I think we're gonna have to put something up there that'll get piped into where the troopers sit.
I think so too, I think one on each end.
I agree. If we're gonna make that investment, right, we went through, it was a lot, right, to reach a go-ahead on this playground
Yeah,
project.
Ryan worked hard on it.
Right,
Yeah.
it was months and months and months
Yeah.
and lots of donors and lots of meetings, and it doesn't make any sense to spend that money and allow it to continue to
You
be.
gotta-
No, we have
you
to
gotta
protect it.
your investment, and
Yeah.
I think 2 cameras or even 3 cameras.
Well,
would be
the
wise choice.
next thing to do is we're gonna put pickleball courts in there, right? The next year or
Well, I'm
something, right?
applying for the grant.
Yeah, we hope
And
so.
then we're gonna extend the basketball court to a full court,
Correct.
right? So we're gonna do all this work, we gotta
Yeah.
protect it.
There'll be a lot going on, so.
Can't wait to have the first pickup game on the basketball court, I'm very excited about
You
it.
won't be seeing me out there.
I've been yelling at Ryan about a basketball court for a decade, so.
All right, so, we've had the discussion, and I think, I'd like to make a motion that, and I don't know how it'll work. And the other thing too that was damaged this time was the brand-new scoreboard.
The one that Jewish City Savings Bank donated, they graffitied the back of it, so instead of painting that, I did get some materials and I polished it off, because it's polished aluminum.
Yeah.
So it looks like it belongs there, it's not a big black or.
Yeah, so now they've moved away from the skate park, and they're going after scoreboards, so I would like to make the motion that, as soon as possible, we ask Public Works for complete removal of the skate park facility.
I was second.
Yeah, based on the resources, as soon as they get to it. So it's gonna be available until he starts
Yeah.
demolishing it.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'll second that. Put it in the hands of Public Works. They know they've got the full approval to demo on their time when they can.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, item number 6, new business, discussion and possible action on 16 tax refunds for a total of $4,529.81 as presented by Leona Sharkey, tax collector.
Keeping Leona busy this week.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I had to get the calculator out this time.
Yeah, huh?
I'll make a motion that we accept the tax refunds for a total of $4,529.81 as presented by Leona Sharkey, tax collector.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve those tax refunds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 6B, discussion and possible action on social media issues. I have nothing.
No,
No,
social media's been pretty quiet.
Okay. 6C, discussion on update regarding existing blight issues. Wayne, you want to take that?
So we have a meeting next Monday to talk about it. I did visit the gentleman we've been keeping an eye on. He's made significant progress on cleaning that up. And then
Awesome.
we're gonna meet with, the blight officer next Monday. And, based on when I did the drive around with her, she took notes about, we gotta start getting, some citations out to people and start letting people know we mean business, that they need to make an effort. Some people are making efforts, but some are not doing anything. So for those
Especially if
that
they're
aren't
out of
doing
town.
anything,
And the other thing, and you sat in on department head meeting this morning, and there were 2 that we touched on, and we asked Mario to please start following up on. One is plastic wiring cable.
Yep.
That site, it's a disaster, and they are going to have to do something to remedy part of that. And the second one is wire wind, because we've had complaints from the troopers that young people in the community are getting in there. There is a collapsed roof, and the kids are getting into areas where they really are not safe.
Yeah.
So we asked Mario to follow up on that. So, and hopefully he'll have some word before the blight team meets, so next week.
If only they would ever give us a brownfield grant.
Huh?
I said, if only they would ever give us a brownfield
well, they
grant.
gave us 1 or 2 already, but that money ran out.
Yeah,
They're saying that we need to have a developer. We're not gonna need to get a developer.
Yep.
Until we get that place cleaned up.
That's
So,
exactly what I said when the big guy called me. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, nobody wants to buy this until you give us the money to fix it first, and then somebody's gonna come and build.
well, I think Mario did say that they're going to apply for another brownfield grant,
Yeah.
so.
Round
Yeah.
4, we've been denied 3 in a row. So,
Well, I think we got received, what, 2? 2 for Petrillos? 2 or 3?
Trillos and 1 for there. And then
We did
had-
have one for there
we had a
already.
second one that they couldn't meet the financial stack, so they couldn't, that was when I was in office, they couldn't qualify.
Yeah,
They got awarded, but they couldn't meet the financial.
yeah, and then this time they were just flat denied, so, yeah. Okay, we'll move on to 6D. Discussion and possible action on request from Jewett City Fire Department for help with the homecoming parade. And, Chief,
Yes,
you are here.
hello everyone,
Hi.
Bruce Lee from Jewett City Fire Department. So, the school reached out for the homecoming parade this year. Last year in October, November, we had a incident where someone got hit during a parade. So we came up with a meeting with the selectmen and the fire chiefs that we were gonna put out barricades, especially on the full circle parades. October 30th is the homecoming parade, which is at 4:30 on a Friday. A lot of people work or just coming home. To put up barricades in time is gonna be almost impossible for the fire department to do. So as many as we're probably gonna have to put up. I have my fire police kind of working on that tonight, hopefully tell me exactly how many we need. Also, the November 21st, which is a Saturday, is the Snowflake Parade.
Yep.
So we're gonna need help with that, also putting these barricades up. Now, these will protect the fire police and also maybe protect pedestrians too, right? That's the name of the game. Fridays, homecoming day parades are very chaotic, because Friday on 4:30, 5 o'clock in town and it's very busy. So a little help would go a long way. We do have some fire police. We did lose 2 or 3 this year that won't be coming back anytime soon. So we're down. Grizzle's only got 1 that we use. There's also members we can use with trucks, but still, it all depends what happens on a Friday. Fridays are tough. So the school reached out and said they sent the request for the parade to the town for the road closures, to shut the main routes to the state. So I'm guessing, Todd, would that be you or Tina sends that into the state?
I filled out the permit, I gave it to them, but I
Okay.
didn't send it in until after we have tonight's meeting.
Okay, yeah,
Because I
so,
wanted to make sure that that was the route they were taking and everything was going.
So who's the appropriate, I mean, is it the school? Who submitted, should the letter come from the school? I mean, it's done now, but, I mean, typically, would the request for the road permit come from the school?
boy, to the state, then I don't know. You would know the process better
It's gotta
than.
come,
It comes from the school to you or to
yeah,
me.
or they could fill it out and give it to us, but it has
We
to, I
have
have
to
to
send it
sign
in.
it, and then we have to send it in to DOT.
Right. Okay.
So we're looking for help, is what we're getting at. A town, maybe 2 people from the town, with a truck with some barricades in it, and they can put them out where we tell them, and then they can follow behind the parade and pick them up as they go, if they wanted to. That's an option. Don't know if it's feasible, because someone's gonna have to pay overtime, right?
Well, that's kind of the conversation we had when we had that meeting last year was,
Who's paying for this?
right, and then I think we said, well, if we supplied the barricades, you guys could put them out and pick them up.
We did for
Because I
the,
didn't budget for any of
right,
this, so.
for the 2 parades we can do, the Memorial Day parade and what was the other parade, it's just down Main Street, baseball. Those are the 2 parades that we can do, but when it starts on a Friday afternoon and it does the whole circle, then we got an issue.
So, Kelly's out this week.
Yep.
So when she comes back, I'm gonna have a conversation with her about the overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll get back to the selectmen and have a conversation with her, because I didn't budget extra, because that meeting we had, we kinda said we were gonna handle it,
Well, they.
with what we had.
Or they were gonna pay for it too, right?
I was gonna say, I thought when we talked about it, we talked about increasing the fee to cover at least a portion of the overtime that wasn't budgeted for from, as part of that process. Is that
Who pays the fee?
the Board of Education, when it's a school event?
Same thing as Snowflake Parade, right?
They'll have to come out of the rec. commission.
That's the
That's the rec committee?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the last thing you wanna do is discourage the events.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I think,
no, absolutely
I think
not.
it's a great parade.
So I
And
think
we
I
have to
need
make it
talk to
safe,
Kelly when she
but-
comes back.
Yeah, Kelly,
Yeah.
there may be something that
If I use
she's
2
able to
people,
identify.
I think 2 will get you
It's a
through.
minimum 4 hours,
So,
so.
right, so you would start, what time do they actually leave work? 3?
When is
On
this,
Friday?
October?
October, yeah.
Yeah, so they'd leave at 3 and I'd have them come back in, because otherwise you're gonna have an hour, they're really not gonna do much, right?
Well,
If we
they-
have everything loaded up that day, ready to go,
Yep, because they'll have to set them up,
right?
and then if they get in back of the parade, they can go back and pick them up. Because someone's gonna have to turn them. You can set them up, but you're not gonna shut the road down when they set them up at that time. You
But
can't be
they-
shutting
they
Main
could-
Street
They
down.
could help with that process ahead of the parade too.
How many would you need? How many would be needed?
Well, you gotta see how many
We're gonna work on that,
locations,
yeah.
and that'll determine,
It's not gonna do, it can't do every street, but we can do the major areas. And that's the issue,
what's
is
it,
the major.
an hour max?
The parade's an hour.
Yeah.
Parade's an hour, depending on the
If
walk.
we bring them in an hour before to set stuff out,
Mhm.
hour for the parade. It gives them an hour to pick up and get back in an hour, so
What's the minimum per the contract?
4 hours.
4.
So,
So I think that timeframe would
It's
work.
about that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I talked to the chief of Grizzle also, and, couldn't be here tonight, but, he kinda agreed that, manpower is, tough for the parades. So, especially when you have the trucks and everything in the parade also, so.
Yeah, if we have the ability to do it, then we should do
Okay,
it.
well,
That's what I wanna talk to her about, see
Yeah.
what we can come up with, and
I still kinda need people in the main areas, I just can't leave a thing across the road on Main Street. 'Cause
No,
Someone's
you
gonna
need,
run
you
over
need
it,
to
right?
man some of those
We gotta
locations.
man some of those.
Side roads, you know,
Side roads, right,
probably get away with it. but
yeah, exactly.
Taylor Hill would be another one, you need somebody.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, and I don't know if anyone knows about the snowflake, was Ryan, well, it's not Ryan anymore, right?
Mike.
It's gonna be Mike, but is it still a circle and ends up at the school, or is it only gonna be to the park? Yeah, that I don't know yet,
I don't think they've really come up with a solid route yet,
okay,
yeah.
but that could make a difference too, right? If it's only half the route, then I might not need the town crew, but if it's a full route,
Yeah,
I'll get together with Kelly next week when she comes in, and then I'll get an answer to the selectmen, we'll put an email out.
okay. That's pretty much it. We will, both fire chiefs wanna meet with the board of selectmen about, and also the board of finance, or the chair of the board of finance for, staffing issues that we're both having, in the past year or two, so. It's tough during the day, and, since we lost Yannick in Townsville, it's really tough. So, because now we're calling from departments from farther out to come help us if something happens, so. just to give
does that
everyone a
happen
heads up.
often though?
Fires,
The fires, yeah.
but if you had fires today, like, we had 2 firefighters on scene, and that was it. Grizzle didn't get a truck out. And we had 1 truck, but I was a driver, and we had 1 firefighter, that was it.
Yeah.
So
You
for
go
the
on
fire-
vacation and, the captain's not around, we're usually, it's me and Mark
Yeah.
at medical.
We used to have people that worked at night that were around during the day, but those 3 people that work at night now work during the day, which puts us in a little predicament during the day. So everyone's late, it's not us, it's not just town, it's everyone around.
Yeah.
That's why, if you look, everyone around us is all paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
That has to really go on another agenda or move to any other business.
yeah, I'm stopped, I'm done,
Yeah.
so that'll be
So
the future.
we'll set up a meeting.
Okay, so should we table this discussion on?
That portion of it, but, we
Well, that
should,
doesn't need, the part about the meeting for the extra help doesn't need to be tabled because it wasn't on the agenda, but he's asking about the barriers.
yeah, the barriers.
That one, we
So
need action on.
I will make a motion that, at the request of the chief of Jewett City, we'll ask the Public Works Director to meet with the Finance Director to discuss avenues for overtime for Public Works to help set up for the parade routes, for the homecoming parade and for the snowflake parade.
Can you add that we'll submit the application to DOT?
You will,
Just add that to your motions for the
who's gonna submit it?
town law.
We have to submit it.
And the
anyway.
town will submit the application for the road permit to DOT.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that 30 days before the event, 60 days?
60.
60? Okay, thank you.
Okay, 6E, discussion and possible action on annual agreement with the Uncas Health District Mobile Health Unit. I did scan, Miranda had sent, and I think you both have it,
Yep.
the letter requesting us to review it and approve it. There was a figure that was sent initially, and then she updated with a second contract that came through, contract proposal that came through today.
So she
And I-
had added as a part of the opioid settlement agreement, right? And I believe there's plenty of funds in there. I
There's
don't know
plenty
if
of funds in the
Yeah.
opioid settlement agreement, and that's where she would recommend this being paid from. I think that this mobile unit has been very beneficial to the community. I think we should continue it. I don't know if you had any comments or questions. She couldn't be here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it seemed like a no-brainer. That we have the opioid settlement funds. It's getting use. You would think that over time it would get more use because it will become more well-known
And it
people-
has.
And people
It
will
has.
feel more comfortable utilizing it, I think.
Yep.
And just thank you to Miranda for getting us all the information.
Well, the one thing that changed for the increase is that they are now, because there were people who couldn't make it to the mobile home unit, mobile unit. So they are now going to individual doors.
Yep.
So there's an increase in mileage, gas, so
I saw that.
that was the need for the increase.
Yep. Yeah, it still makes perfect sense to me. So I would make a motion we're renewing that contract, correct? That is what we're discussing.
Yes, approving
Then I would motion
for,
approval
okay,
of renewing the contract for the mobile health contract for another
okay,
year.
Uncas Health District.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Uncas Health District mobile van. First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 7, any other business that may properly come before the board. I would like to motion on, I have a few things. I would like to motion on the resolution for execution of the lease purchase agreement.
So moved.
All
I'll
right,
second.
motion and a second to add this to the agenda, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so you have the lease purchase agreement there. Kelly left that with us before she left on vacation. I'm going to let Todd speak to it because you know the vehicles that are on it. You were involved with the,
Yeah, that's the capital programs, that's the brush truck, the tanker, and the public works truck.
yeah.
And this
Also
is
capital also.
already gone through capital and the Board of Finance to get to us.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of those approvals are there.
And she told me she needed this so she can execute the agreement for September 1st.
Yep.
To get the money.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution, authorize execution of the lease and purchase agreement, acquire the fire and town vehicles.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve that resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I would like to motion on to the agenda, Public Works permit for Little League. Yeah, I don't know if there's more than that.
Building repairs or
Little
something?
League request for repairs. I'd like to motion that onto the agenda.
I'll second.
We have motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Todd, you wanted this brought onto the agenda? You're working with Little League?
So Little League reached out last week, they had a roof leak in the announcers building of Field 1. They have a roofing contractor that is willing to donate time to do 2 roofs on Field 1 and the 1 roof on Field 2. And they're getting the materials donated by the manufacturer. So I worked with him to get the building permit filled out yesterday, it got submitted. I'm asking to waive the local fees, which are $102 for the permit.
I'll make a motion, we waive the fees.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to waive the Little League permit fees. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then I would also like to motion on discussion and possible action on the dog pound.
Second.
It's Colonel Brown Road.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Todd, again, you asked to put this on to the agenda?
Yep, we're getting a couple people that are still calling, complaining about condition. I know we went out there, you, Wayne, and I had met with a couple of different organizations.
And the state. We met with the state out there.
Nothing really came out of that.
No.
So I guess my concern is, how much money do we want to put into it? You know, people are complaining we should paint it. We have a roof on one of the runs that we have that was damaged from a tree that we didn't fix. My understanding is, in the past, NECOG was using that as a overflow facility, but now they are not.
Right.
So I just want to get a feel for where we want to go here. My feeling is I don't, especially right now, we cut that budget to almost zero with all the cuts we have to make, so there's nothing in there for maintenance.
Right.
The only money we could use on that is the dollar fund from the dog licensing, to do repairs, but I hate to keep throwing money at it if we're not gonna use it. You know, that's, you know, I'm looking at, do we wanna just take the kennels off for now? Take all that fencing and the roofing down, leave the building? You know, what do we wanna?
Are we required, either by NECOG or the state, are we still required to keep that as a temporary holding facility?
I don't believe so. It wasn't an ECOG contract, but I think with all the new requirements, it doesn't meet any of that. And they said they couldn't use it for overflow. They were using Norwich because Norwich was more of an updated facility.
Yeah,
I think we need to confirm that first, though.
So maybe it's something we can follow up on, but I don't want to be continuously getting the complaints about things to be done and
And we
then
do.
dumping money into something we're not going to use.
Right.
my very first thought when you started to say this was knock it down,
Well, and
get rid of it,
that's
and
my
never spend
ultimate,
money on it ever again.
my ultimate goal is,
Yeah.
if we're not going to use it and it's going to become more of an eyesore because we're not going to maintain it, then that might be the answer, is just to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, the choices are spend money to maintain a facility that we don't use, that we can't use, it would seem, if we can get confirmation of that, obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah, we gotta send a letter to the state. We're intending to knock this down, get rid of it.
Yeah, I have their contact because I have the gentleman who came down and also the gentleman from up at NECOG, so I can contact each of them just to confirm it, and then we'll put it on the agenda for the next Board of Selectmen meeting.
And just so you are aware, the long-term goal years ago when they built the Public Works garage, if you've been up there and you know where the fuel pumps are and the salt shed is, looking at the salt shed to the left, all the conduits were run out there for the future development of a dog pound. So if we
Oh.
ever got to the situation where we had to do something, the infrastructure's already run out there with the conduits with nothing in them for the power, and there's conduits for water. So, I mean, there is some stuff there as an option,
If we had
10
to.
years down the road, we say,
Yeah,
we gotta do something. It was
All these feral
planned
cats.
when they built that building to bring it all on one complex.
It's interesting.
yeah, I think, I don't see any way that it would ever be worth spending enough money to, even if we did need to have a facility, the current facility is so far from usable and it's such a small space that even if we spent a ton of money on it, it would still not be really appropriate for use. So I would love to know if we could just get rid of it, not have the expense. And then people would not have an eyesore to complain about.
I just wanted to bring it up because
Yeah.
as complaints keep coming in, they might come to your office.
Yeah,
they do.
So, shall we, motion to discuss with the state and COG to make sure that we can do without that facility and then discuss at the next Board of Selectmen meeting?
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, is there any other business that may properly come before the board? No?
I
Yeah.
just want a motion on an update on the audio video equipment in the meeting room downstairs.
Okay, I'll second it.
All right. Motion and a second to add video equipment onto the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So Jason Dawson and I are looking at probably Thursday morning to hang the TVs and connect those into the system. And I would say probably within the next week, we should be doing a test run on the full system. Once that happens, I already talked to Martin today about providing a training for like a workshop for the land use secretary and him and any other members of the board that are willing to understand how the thing is set up and run. I would like to offer that once we're functional to all the boards and commissions.
Sure, yeah.
So, because once we're operational, it should be very simple, and the more people that understand how to use it, the better. I think, especially what we saw last night is, I think the town as a whole would have benefited from being able to watch that if they weren't able to attend that meeting. I think more people being able to weigh in. The one thing I do want to say is, at some point, we're gonna have to decide. To me, it feels like everybody should just want to use it, but some people are probably not gonna want to use it. And at some point, we're gonna have to have a conversation about whether or not you have to use it, and probably put that in writing somewhere eventually, if that, is how that's set up. I think the more commission meetings and board meetings that are broadcast to the whole town is a positive thing. I think that's the purpose of spending this money on the equipment.
Well, I think the taxpayers have the right to know, or they should have
And-
access to it if
yes.
it's there.
And this has been obviously like a crusade of mine since we started this adventure that last November. And all of the feedback that I've gotten from people is that, like, I would love to be more involved and more informed, but I don't have the time to attend all these meetings. You know, and so to be able to consume as much of that information as possible and then have an informed opinion, I think is important and is kind of the purpose of everything. There are a couple of other trickle-down effects of this. One of those things is gonna be whether or not we're able to get, I believe that the P and Z meeting notes from the previous meeting were 27 pages. Whether or not we're gonna be able to work with a transcription service that will help some of the secretaries with that. So there are some other things that'll come from this, but just so you guys know, kind of everybody knows where we're at. It's there. P and Z is already willing to learn. And I know finance obviously is already using our current system, so
Yes.
at least those three
They were
boards,
interested in it, yeah.
you know, should be ready to go right from the get-go. And then we have to kind of talk to everybody else and get a feel for how that's gonna be handled. So just something to think about.
The loose wires, are they gonna be encased?
Everything should be cleaned up once we're tied in.
Okay, good.
Whether that's a simple strip that goes over them on the wall, or if they get tucked away.
Like what's
Right.
behind Dave?
Yep.
Dave, you're on camera now.
Not like these big gaudy HDMI cables like we have, you know, in this case on this TV where we didn't have anything set up for this, right? We just needed to get an HDMI cable in there to be able to let people connect to the TV to present.
Yeah.
But that should all be integrated downstairs, and we will have it, you know, pretty nicely set up to be able to access. But yeah, aesthetics are definitely gonna be a part of the deal for that,
Good.
so.
Good. Nope, thank you for doing that. I know it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I'm excited. We were talking about it this week, and I was like, I just need to get it functional before November. Like, I can't go a year. I just want one.
No, you
one
won't.
year.
You'll get it done.
So
I-
it looks
I'm-
like probably before the end of August.
confident you'll have
we'll
it
be
done.
having meetings that are broadcast on that system.
Board of Finance will be very pleased to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, and you had a substantial savings on that, didn't you? Was it like 20,000?
It was $35,000 roughly.
35, and that's good to know.
We had the capitals set up for 50 grand.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think we spent 15.
okay,
If 15, it might have been a little less than 15 with all the equipment and the install.
okay, all right. That's good information.
And the 2 new TVs, so we can get EDC a TV for their project in the lobby downstairs.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
Run that fantastic video in a loop.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's honestly, it should be on there.
Yep.
yeah, it should be. Okay, any other business that may properly come before the board? Hearing none, we'll move on to number 8, public forum.
Everybody just looks at Dave.
Ladies first.
So I would say good job to Matt for getting this recording system up and running. I think that will be great. And I like the idea that you're gonna do it, Dana Bennett, Griswold Lane, sorry. I really like the idea you're doing the training, because when we first got this, we offered that to people. We didn't do a group training. But I think people were a little hesitant to be responsible for that. We only had a couple meetings that have really ever used that. And I hope that this camera will be used maybe up here, so that some of those meetings that are not down in the main room
Yeah,
can be
yeah, we
recorded
hold,
up here.
we hold our fair share up here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's my
So, yeah.
hope too, is that when the main room obviously has a built-in system, this becomes the mobile system. So that meeting that happened at the senior center last night this could have gone to the senior center.
Sure.
Been set up.
it's
And-
harder at the senior center because of the acoustics.
They make an attachment, but I thought about
Yeah.
that, because originally when we looked at this system, I wanted something that could be moved.
Right?
But the cost to get quality out of that and to make it as user, because like now I want user friendly, it's you walk in, you turn the power on, you press 2 buttons and you're live,
That's great.
right? With this, it's a little more complicated, not crazy complicated, but they make a microphone extension, this company does, for this product that will allow for us to use it in larger spaces like that, and you'll actually still be able to hear. So, and it's not very expensive, so once we're done.
I
we should be
appreciate your
fine.
knowledge on this, believe me, I do.
But yeah, it'll be, that, I agree with you, that is having a satellite system as well,
Yeah,
is gonna be important, and that can be part of the training for sure.
great. And I did have a part two. Do you want, can I ask the part two?
Sure, go ahead.
At last meeting, I think Todd mentioned that the water piping is over at the Public Works. I guess, where are we on that project, and why is the water piping there? and not with Roma Construction, where's the liability to the town if we're in possession of that piping before it goes under the bridge?
We had the pipe for everything but the bridge, because there was gonna be a 20% price increase, and the town decided to buy that pipe and store it in public works to save that 20% increase.
Okay,
Kelly did verify with the insurance company that we were covered for that stored there. And then as Roma needed it, we loaded it onto their vehicles and they transported it to the job. The pipe for the bridge has been ordered, because there were some changes with DOT. Originally, it had to be in a sleeve. And because of the back wall of the bridge and the lack of thickness that would be left if they cut the sleeve and the pipe through the back wall, they agreed to eliminate the sleeves. So now the pipe is just bare pipe with insulation and no sleeve. So they've ordered the hangers. I've got 3 pallets of hangers that were delivered to Public Works for them, but they're still waiting for more rollers to go into the bridge and the pipe. So each week we're getting deliveries. I fax them the slips or email them the slips so they know what's there. And they're scheduling with their subcontractor to do the bridge work.
Yeah.
They've got all the road work done that they can do at this point until they start the bridge.
okay.
Yeah.
Good,
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. Yes, sir.
Dave, you 59 Lee Avenue. My first question is my quarterly question of movement on the Petrillo property. And the second is, this question goes back to the days of Phil Anthony and Steve Micatel,
Okay,
just to show you how long it's been. Right across from the Public Works garage
yes.
are 2 motorboats, cabin boats, cruisers, giant boats. I can't find any property card that lists them for that property. They've been there so long, trees are growing around them. I think it's turning into a blight situation.
Okay.
And I have seen an occasional individual walking around them early evening, so I don't know if somebody's sleeping in them now or what.
I don't think so. I know the owner doesn't live too far. Father, son,
Yeah, you know the owners.
they live right up on Glasgow Road. And I know they were cutting some brush around there recently and bringing it to the transfer station, because they did ask us if they could bring it in.
Yeah, the original question to Phil and Steve was, are they paying taxes on those boats? And they didn't know. They assumed they were because they thought they were on trailers and the trailer was registered, so it would have to be. But there are no trailers under them, they're on blocks.
Right.
So.
I'll ask.
Find out what they're gonna do with the boats.
Okay,
I know they just recently had somebody reach out to them from another business down the road looking to buy that property. So that might take care of it too.
Yeah.
all right. And on Petrillo's, we check with the town clerk who, she had to go in and testify. It is still hanging in the courts, if you can believe it.
I can.
If you can believe it. I know there is a new attorney who was assigned to it, but the attorney is in the same firm. So what I'd like to do is reach out to the original attorney who was working on it and going in for the testimony and all of that. And just basically say, it needs to close, you know, we can't. But the court system just keeps pushing everything out and out and out. They're doing that on another case that we have now, so it's tough.
Yeah, it'd
You
be
know,
nice to
fighting
get
the
it
system.
foreclosed on and be able to turn that property over. Granted, it needs a lot of work,
In
but
no uncertain terms, I mean, the way that it was left, the town owns the property, but there was some discrepancy and something else that the property owner filed, so it's all in conversation now, so,
I do know
Seven.
Mario said that the ground's been tested and cleaned, so that's good. That's
Yeah.
all cleaned up.
Yep.
Just waiting for the courts to get done.
yeah.
it's been empty so long, it's had time to dissipate through the ground.
Honestly.
Pollution to pollution is pollution over time.
You know that,
Moved on.
All right, any other public
being a Navy
forum?
guy. Solution's a solution.
Okay, seeing none, we're going to go to number 9.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 6:54. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if those were still